Hey everyone, welcome back to another exciting episode. So I'm starting off by apologizing since it's been a while. I haven't uploaded another video, but that's just because there were so many things going on this week, well, really this month, that I didn't have as much time as I thought I would to edit these videos. Just a little delay, but you can expect a rapid firing of uploads this week to catch you all up on what has been happening on the farm. So stick around because there's going to be a lot of cool things you can expect to see. So randomly in early February, we got a warm day finally after a week of nothing but rain. So I took the advantage and took out all of my roosters who have been caged up for most of the winter. Unfortunately, that's just how it is since I don't want them to get too cold during the colder months. But because of a warm day like today, they are getting all the sun exposure as they want. Chickens definitely need the sun as it is a good way for them to stay healthy by collecting vitamin D, but having the sun's radiation gives them warmth to energize their bodies and they are more active whenever it is like this. They will typically want to exercise by digging or be provoked by eating since they are in competition with each other. This stimulates the instinct to grow and become stronger. Outside of that, they produce more oil from their glands as they preen their feathers, thus giving them their shiny coat. This helps with protecting their feathers as well as repairing any that are damaged as they groom themselves. But of course, they will do whatever they feel like they want to do. Now, while I was taking out the boys, I noticed some small animal footprints in the drying mud. These look like they would belong to raccoons, however, they are quite a bit smaller. You can typically tell the animal based on the tracks, and raccoons are known for their human-like handprints because they also have 5 fingers on their hands. But what is confusing me are the prints with only 4 digits, so that doesn't really make sense for it to be a raccoon. The only thing that I could possibly think of that would make these tracks are maybe squirrels, maybe rats. So I rushed over and grabbed our little hunter to see where the scent trail leads, and he seems to be interested in going inside the breeder room. Looks like he's telling me what I should be looking for, which I do see some signs of rats, so I'm hoping that's just what it is. There were no other signs anywhere else while I was feeding in here, but he's got a nose way better than mine, so I'm just going to trust him on this one. I'm going to let him take the lead and see where we end up. Now, the holes you see in here are primarily made by me as a sign of drainage. In case the room ever gets running water, there are places for it to go. But it is possible the rats have been using them as a major highway for traveling. But luckily, all the birds are accounted for, so we can rest easy. But today is the day when we put in set 2 of this year. Roughly counted 70-something eggs going in, and we are getting everything up to temp. These are all eggs collected on the farm, so no outside genetics, just strictly all that we have acquired and bred in the last year or so. Some of these are meat birds, while others are show birds, but of course our bloodlines are multi-purpose, which is what they are bred for. We have also agreed to let a couple more days of collecting go by, just to make sure we have as much samples as possible, but we are not stretching it any further than 4 days. Getting them in the incubator, making sure that everything is nice and snug, making sure nothing is off, making sure that the trays don't move, and adding multiple thermometers. Gonna have one on the actual tray itself, one below it, and I'm gonna have one at the very top, just to make sure all the readings are as accurate as possible. Now, 21 days later, we'll see what it looks like. Updating for set 9 of last year, they have gotten very big. Being a month and a half old now, they are exploding in size and temperament. They eat more and more, and even 2 food bowls are barely enough to feed them for the day. Luckily, the water is still holding its own and only needs to be filled once a day. Soon, we are going to have to move them out, but we are still waiting for warmer weather. At the rate they are growing, they will probably reach market weight by the time they are 4 months old. The good thing is, they are still tame and eat out of my hand, so it will be an easy time moving them out so long as they come to my hand for food. All we're doing now is just waiting on warmer weather, otherwise these guys are gonna have to be moving out really quick because their room is getting small. As for set 1 on the other side, they have gotten big as well. Being 2.5 weeks old at the time of this recording, they aren't as tame just yet, but that will eventually change the more they get used to seeing us. But again, like I said, on a warm day today, we decided to cut off the lights for them to kind of wean them off the heat source. By doing so, it helps them to learn to conserve energy as to survive the remaining cold days of winter. But I couldn't resist, and I decided to bring out my favorite guide of set 9 out to explore the real world. For the farm, only the tamest ones get a chance to roam free, so I'm going to grab some more of his friends and see how they react to the outside world.
He seems to be taking it very well for his first time outside of the brooder room, and that's what I like to see. He isn't spooked or frightened, and he seems to be quite relaxed. Calmly eating grass that I picked out of my own hand is a good sign that he is confident in our relationship and fully accepting of the current situation. So now I think it's a good time to grab some more of his friends and see how they react as well in a small group. In comparison to my main guy, the others are a little frightened, but not too bad. This dark one with white spots on the front is the next tamest, following the other white one, and then the orange one in the back. That sort of signifies the extent of the relationship. As you can see, the further away they are, the wilder they typically are. Only the ones that are responding to me seems to be handling the situation well. I don't want the other two to panic and fly off, so I had to stop recording here and put them all back instead. But that's just kind of a way for me to understand the personalities of our chickens and see what sort of development in the future we're going to need in order to change that and make sure everybody is nice and comfortable. And while I was putting them back, I noticed with how long they have been in here, their piles of poop have really made the room stink. So I got the mix of neutralizer and I'm spraying the room down to get rid of the ammonia smell. I don't spray it into their food as I don't want them to ingest the solution, but I will spray all around, making sure that I give it a good soak. That way it really penetrates the deeper layers and really just neutralizes all of the ammonia. It's a highly base solution, so I'm just using a high acidic solution in order to kind of regulate the pH level. And after a couple minutes, it sure smells way nicer than it did before. I did spray the chicks just a little bit, but of course on a warm day like today, they are looking perfectly fine despite a little wet. That way, if there was any sort of poop on their feathers, it kind of gives them a bath as well and just kind of gets rid of the smell on top of them. But I did make sure to avoid the water again just so that they don't ingest any of it, and I'm glad I did because the smell of poop is gone. And finally, an update on our recovering patient. I'm happy to announce that he is doing much better than when we first brought him home. He has since gained a pound and he is active now that he is getting back on track. So letting him have his turn of the sun today as well, and we will continue to see how he looks later on. But anyways, thank you everyone for watching this video today. Like I said, I got a lot more coming soon, so go ahead and hop on to the next episode so you don't get a cliffhanger on our story. See you next time.